Good morning and welcome to worship. I hope you enjoyed that perhaps tongue-in-cheek introduction to our worship this morning, but it was taken from the prelude to the Congress, the Boundless Congress, but asking the question, are we happy? William Booth famously said, why should the devil have all the best tunes? So we've simply borrowed this as a prelude to our worship, but asking the question, are you happy? We sing joy, 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 there is joy in the Salvation Army. But is there joy in the Salvation Army where you are right now? Because where you are in your homes, in your communities, you are the Salvation Army. How are you doing? What's your week been like? Are you trying to live in your own strength, or are you coming to that well of life to drink from Jesus? Jesus said, as we read in Matthew's Gospel, chapter 11, verses 28 to 30, I'm using the Message paraphrase for this, but it says, are you tired, worn out, burnt out on religion? Come to me, get away with me and you recover your life. I'll show you how to take a real rest. Walk with me and work with me. Watch how I do it. Learn the unforced rhythms of grace. I won't lay anything heavy or ill-fitting on you. Keep company with you and you will learn how to live freely and lightly. I just pray as you watch this service, as you join in worship where you are, in the outpost of your home or your family, that you will enjoy, but you'll be blessed and challenged by this service. So friends, let's unite to sing, or for 1,000 tongues to sing, my great Redeemer praise.
God and King, the glories of
There's a story told of a young student who went to his pastor, his spiritual teacher, and asked him the question, "Master, how can I truly find God?" The teacher asked the student to accompany him to a nearby river, which ran just close to the village, and invited him to go into the water. When they both got into the middle of the stream, the teacher said, "Please immerse yourself fully in the water." The student was a little bit unwary, but did what he was told. Whereupon the teacher then put his hand on the young man's head and held him under the water. Presently the student began to struggle, but the master held him still. A moment passed and the student was thrashing and beating and trying to kick and trying to get free with all his might. Still the master held him under the water. Finally, when the student was released, he shot up from the water. His lungs were aching and gasping for air. The teacher waited a few moments and looked at the student, still panting for air. He says, "When you desire God as truly as you desire to breathe the air you just breathed, then you shall find God." The psalmist expressed it in this way: "As a deer longs for flowing stream, so my soul longs for you, O God. My soul thirsts for God, for the living God." It's an interesting illustration, isn't it? How desperate are you to know God more, to rest in his presence? I do feel that this could be a Christian anthem for so many people in the church at the moment who are desperate to get back to corporate worship. But yet at the moment we are the church dispersed. Instead of meeting together in one place, we meet together in hundreds of places and inviting many more to take a peek and to see and experience God. And we pray that their soul may long after Jesus in the same way that we do. So let's sing and worship together that song, "As the deer pants for water, so my soul longs after you," based on that psalm.
As the deer panteth for the water, so my soul longeth after thee. You alone are my heart's desire, and I long to worship thee. You alone are my strength, my shield. To you alone may my spirit yield, spirit yield. You alone are my heart's desire, and I long to worship thee. You're my friend and you are my brother, even though you are a king. I love you more than any other, so much more than anything. You alone are my strength, my shield. To you alone may my spirit yield, spirit yield. You alone are my heart's desire, and I long to worship thee. I want you more than gold or silver, only you can satisfy. You alone are the real joy giver and the apple of my eye. You alone are my strength, my shield. To you alone may my spirit yield. You alone are my heart's desire, and I long to worship thee. You alone are my strength, my shield. To you alone may my spirit yield. You alone are my heart's desire, and I long to worship thee. And I long to worship thee. Worship thee.
Morning everyone, hope everyone is having a good week and you're all keeping okay. I just had a question this morning. I wonder if any of you help around the house, help your mums or dads or anybody else. Is there a job that you like to do, or a job that they always ask you to do? One job that sometimes needs doing, which probably should be a bit older to do, is changing a light bulb. So I hope you've all seen one of these before. You might have seen someone else changing it, or you might be able to change one. A while ago our light stopped working in the living room and we couldn't change it straight away, unfortunately. So we didn't. It was a bright summer's day, so it didn't really matter. We could still see everything, but then as it started to get dark outside, when it was night time, things were a bit more tricky. We couldn't see as well anymore, so we thought, right, we've got to do something about this. And God can be described as a light too. When things are tricky, different and uncertain, he can be that light for us in the darkness. And the Bible speaks a lot about light. It says, your word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path. So next time you switch on a light, use a torch or light a candle, as I've got here. You can pray that God will be a light for you in your life and everything that you do. And finally, on that same theme of light, Ellie has chosen her favourite song this week. Ellie is a junior soldier at the army and we love seeing her there. She's always smiling away, whether that's in singing group, Sunday school or in her cornet lessons. Thank you, Ellie.
My favourite song is My Lighthouse because it reminds me of all the happy times I've had at junior camp.
In my wrestling and in my doubts, in my failures, you won't walk out. Your great love will lead me through. You are the peace in my troubled sea. Whoa, you are the peace in my troubled sea. In the silence, you won't let go. In the questions, your truth will hold. Your great love will lead me through. You are the peace in my troubled sea. Whoa, you are the peace in my troubled sea. My lighthouse, shining in the darkness, I will follow you. Oh, my lighthouse, I will trust the promise. You will carry me safe to shore. Safe to shore. Safe to shore. Safe to shore. I won't fear what tomorrow brings. With each morning I'll rise and sing. My God's love will lead me through. You are the peace in my troubled sea. Whoa, you are the peace in my troubled sea. Oh, you are my light, my lighthouse, shining in the darkness. I will follow you. Oh, my lighthouse, I will trust the promise. You will carry
Thank you to both to Rachel for the YP spot and also to Ellie for her favourite song, My Lighthouse. It's good to hear that junior camp has had such a positive experience on our young people, and we need to uphold prayers, especially at this time, as they will be feeling probably the hardest of the most. Being off school for so long, limited with staying at home, no activities here at the army or going to junior camp or music school, not seeing their friends, not going to school. I do hope that you remember to pray for our youngsters. They are the army of today as well as tomorrow. Also, we need to remember those of the teaching profession as they prepare to return to school. It is a worrying time for lots of people, so lots of prayers are needed. But in contrast now, from My Lighthouse, we're going to be blessed as we listen to the ministry from the band.
Good morning, everyone. In last week's Outlook Thought, Brian mentioned the lovely time he had spent at Harold and Jean's diamond wedding celebration. He said he witnessed the love within the family and the faithfulness in their caring for each other. And his thoughts turned to the familiar song, Great is Thy Faithfulness. So this morning, the band music I've chosen is based on that song, and it looks closely at verse 3, which says this: Pardon for sin and a peace that endureth, thy own dear presence to cheer and to guide, strength for today and bright hope for tomorrow, blessings all mine with 10,000 beside. Now, this music isn't the usual hymn tune arrangement, rather it dwells on the few bars of the music of that third line, strength for today and bright hope for tomorrow. The piece is called Everlasting Hope, and it's played by the International Staff Band.
Jesus gave an invitation for people to walk with him. Using the Message paraphrase here because it puts it simplistically for us all. As I said at the beginning of the meeting, Jesus said, are you tired, worn out, burnt out in religion? Come to me, get away with me and recover your life. I'll show you how to take a real rest. Walk with me and work with me. Watch how I do it. Learn the unforced rhythms of grace. I won't lay anything heavy or ill-fitting on you. Keep company with me and you'll learn how to live freely and lightly. This invitation was not only given to the hearers of the day, some 2,000 years ago. It stands for each and every one of us today. Each and every one of us must give an answer to this invitation. What are you going to say? Are you not sure with this lockdown how things are at the moment? Not 100% sure how you feel about God? Not sure how you feel about anything in today's strange world? Well, I'd like to tell you about 3 different reactions to walking with God that I've read about and I've come to discern from the Bible. The first is keeping your head down. Right at the beginning of the Bible, the first book tells us all about it. Adam and Eve hiding from God as God walked in the Garden of Eden. Just imagine being able to walk with God in that garden. Yet Adam and Eve were hiding. It tells us in Genesis 3. Then the man and his wife heard the sound of the Lord God, and he was walking in the garden in the cool of the day, and they hid from the Lord amongst the trees of the garden. They didn't even want God to see them, never mind join them for a pleasant evening stroll. Why? Because they were ashamed of how they'd behaved. Some of us in times of our life may have to identify with this, may have done something that we think others will never forgive, yet alone we forgive ourselves. We may not be proud of mistakes we've made in our life. Maybe we've done things that have hurt or harmed others as well as ourselves. It could be that our failures could be public, and we feel that we cannot hold our head up in the company of others. I've heard people say, why would you want me in a church after what I've done? Yet we're all sinners. I'm the biggest sinner that I know because I know me better than I know anyone else. I know my failure, I know the things I get wrong. Yet God still loves me and still thankfully wants to use me. It could be that no one may know about your past, but we live in fear of being found out. Shame, therefore, makes us shy away from a close relationship. It's a tool of the devil that tries to separate us from being close to God. If added to all this, we've been told that God is holy and pure, which God is, it goes without saying that we feel we could be best to keep our distance from him, that we could never be in that close relationship with God. But Genesis is only the beginning of a long love story of God's relationship with humankind. The rest of the story is about how God went to extraordinary lengths to mend that broken relationship, to offer friendship for shameful acts, to enable us all to walk with him again with heads held high. Leviticus tells us, I am the Lord your God who brought you out of Egypt so that you may no longer be slaves to the Egyptians. I broke the bars of your yoke and enabled you to walk with heads held high. Today, Jesus seeks people who will walk with him. No one is disqualified because of the past. None of us needs to hide who we really are from him because he knows us and he invites us to spend the rest of our time with him. What is more, there is no need to think that we have to get things sorted before we can join him. The truth is that it's only by joining him that we can be free from the reasons for hiding. He doesn't want to embarrass us or shame us. He just longs for our company and offers the opportunity of living life in a different way. Before the songsters bring to us their chosen message, let's just sing song, just a chorus of 858, that I'm living my life for Jesus. Because we are, each and every one of us is not living our life for ourselves, but we're living our lives for Jesus. His love and grace be seen.
piece this morning is an old song which can be found in the songbook number 314, Showers of Blessing. It has been brought up to date by a new melody.
Good morning, everyone. There is a song, or to be more precise, a particular verse of a song, which has been constantly coming to mind for over a year, when not being able to attend church due to our personal circumstances became a reality. More recently, of course, this has become the experience for the whole of the church fellowship. The verse is the third verse of Song 753, and it reads this: there is a scene where spirits blend and friend holds fellowship with friend. Though sundered far, by faith they meet around one common mercy seat. The hymn writer, Hugh Stowell, was an Anglican priest, known to be a man of prayer. It is recorded that during his final hours, whilst unable to converse with his family, long periods of silence were punctuated by fervent amens. Hugh Stowell died in 1865, the year which saw the birth of the Christian mission. This hymn reminds us that even though we may not be able to come together in worship, we can each place ourselves in God's presence, which in his realm means that we can be united in fellowship. Whilst I have your attention, I thank you for your love and prayers for Jean and myself as we celebrated our diamond wedding recently. Your loving support is a constant source of strength. God bless you all.
Thank you, Howell, for sharing that song with us. And it was wonderful for the opportunity to share with you and some of your family and friends. Of course, all socially distanced for a few moments as you celebrated a milestone of marriage with you and Jeannie. Such an achievement and such a blessing to you, and I'm sure to the whole family. So to continue with our message this morning, we've heard about keeping your heads down. Now we need to look at the ups and downs. In contrast to Adam and Eve, there's a poem in the Bible that describes a life of a person who's willingly walks with God. It tells us in the Psalm 23, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me to lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. For you are with me, your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup runs over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever." The psalmist here is describing God's caring for us all, like a shepherd who cares for his sheep. He walks in beautiful places that seem to be fully satisfied with his life. Yet he also knew about the difficult times of life. He even describes walking through the valley of the shadow of death. None of us are exempt from difficulty in life. I know that personally, just a couple of months ago, losing my own father. But for some of us, situations we have to go through will seem more extreme than others. Does God really want us to walk in poverty, bereavement, unemployment, homelessness, addiction? Does God really want to walk with us during those dark times? I think at those dark times, God doesn't just want to walk with us, he wants to carry us. It is possible to be so engrossed in our struggles that we have tunnel vision of where we are and what we're doing, that we forget to think about God. It's also possible to become resentful towards God and asking, why does God allow this to happen to us? But we need to remember our poet. He said that even when we walk through the valley of the shadow of death, that he knew that God was with him, and went on to say that God gave him support in those dark times. When Jesus lived here on earth, he saw all kinds of human suffering and experienced more than his fair share himself. Accepting Jesus is an invitation to walk with him. There's no guarantee of a happily ever after or a quick fix scheme to all our problems. What it is the promise of a companion who has been there to walk with us, to hold us up when we feel the road is just too hard. So we continue on. We've also the next example, which is walking away. Jeremiah was a prophet who spoke the word of the Lord to God's people. He had a hard word of observation about people of God. This is what the Lord says. Stand at the crossroads and look. Ask for the ancient paths. Ask where the good way is and walk in it, and you will find rest for your souls. But you said, we will not walk in it. Taken from Jeremiah 6. Jeremiah was talking to his people who had chosen to walk away from God and his teaching. And it was their choice. And it's a choice that we can make too in our own lives. We may even been taught about God as a child, attended church, you may even attended this place, gone through Sunday school, perhaps even been a senior soldier. Witnessed, you've testified to God as being an important part of your life. And then because of something, because of some point in your life, a decision was made to walk in a different direction. It may have been a definite act or a gradual process. But today we may feel far away from God that we once knew. The good news is no matter how far we walk away from God, it takes one step to get back in that relationship with him. It's not stepping back to the rules and regulations of religion. Jesus said, I won't lay anything heavy or ill-fitting on you. In fact, he talks about living life freely and lightly. So to conclude this morning, I'd like to finish not with my words, but with the words of Jesus. And then I invite you to either sing or just to listen to the beautiful song, Breathe. The words of this song said, this is the air I breathe, your holy presence living in me. This is my daily bread, your very word spoken to me. And I'm desperate for you. And I'm lost without you. So friends, Jesus said, are you tired, worn out, burnt out on religion? Come to me. Get away with me and you'll recover your life. I'll show you how to take a real rest. Walk with me and work with me. Watch how I do it. Learn the unforced rhythms of grace. I won't lay anything heavy or ill-fitting on you. Keep company with me and you'll learn to live freely and lightly. Are you desperate to be closer to God? To rest in his presence? I pray that you are. Friends, thank you for joining with us today. And I hope that you've been both challenged and blessed, and that you've enjoyed this virtual worship service. So I'd like us to conclude with a gift of music and words. The Melbourne Staff Band and Sylvie Palatino bring to us an arrangement of It Is Well With My Soul, taken from the Boundless Congress some 5 years ago. and my prayer for each and every one of you until we have a chance to meet in this place, that it is well with your soul. So friends, take care, and may God richly bless you.